Hello everyone, Care Bear here to share with you a finished stuffy. A friend of mine has had a couple of years that's not been so great for her, and so we're hoping the three things that have occurred are behind her, and I decided to make her Little Bear. This is Little Bear by Melody Hoffmann, and a number of people make those support chickens for family and friends, and I make a Little Bear. This, I think, is the fifth Little Bear that I've made, and yeah, I love it, and it brings lots of smiles to the people with whom I've shared it, and so I made another one for my friend, and she is a huge baseball fan, and so I have added a message on the back, which is one of her favorite teams are the Toronto Blue Jays. And so I thought I would give her this little bear with the message on the back. And the alpha charts are by Emily Matisse, and Little Bear is by Melody Hoffmann. The Little Bear is a purchase pattern on Ravelry, and Emily's charts for capital letters as well as lowercase letters are free on Ravelry, so you can take a look for those. So let me tell you a little bit about the materials I used and what the pattern calls for and so on. So I'm just checking my notes here. So Melody's Little Bear is made with US 5 and 3.75 millimeters, and she calls for a sport weight yarn. I just use whatever I have in stash. I've done this with DK weight. This happens to be an Aran weight, and I used a US 4, a 3.5 millimeter, and this Aran is Aran Divine Yarn, and it is, I used 70 grams to knit this little bear, and it took 6 grams of the red and only 2 grams of this little light blue. So that's what I've done to create this bear. Let me tell you a little bit about the construction of the bear. It is a bottom up construction, and you start with Judy's Magic Cast On so that you get that nice toe finish at the base of the bear's feet. And then at the top, you end up doing some Kitchener stitching at the top of the ears. So you start with the Judy's Magic Cast On, and you do one foot, you put it on hold, you do the next foot, and then you join them in the round, and you continuously go in the round up until the snout. At that point, the instructions are to do intarsia knitting, and I don't. I just put 2 removable markers right here, and I continue in the round right up to finishing both of the ears. I close one ear and the center point, and I put the other ear on barber cord and just let it sit open because I'm going to have to stuff it. I then close the bottom hole here because there is a little hole that you need to Kitchener stitch, and then I do duplicate stitch where I have the removable markers, and I just follow her instructions that she does for intarsia, and I've just put duplicate stitch on top of this section of the bear, and then I embroider with the same yarn the eyes, and then I embroider the little nose that she has on that snout area and mouth. Then I turned it to the back. I still haven't put any stuffing in it. Then I turned it to the back, and I used Emily's charts so that I could duplicate stitch the message on. So I had to mark where the center point was, and how many stitches for each of the letters. So going across here, I think I had 40, and the width of the bear I think was 45 stitches. So I measured everything out by number of stitches that I had and mapped it so that I could chart The difficulty of duplicate stitch is you got to be careful that you don't pick up the other side, because you're going inside and you can't pick up um, the back side, because you could easily grab the front. So maybe, I never thought of this, stuff it and then duplicate stitch. But what I do is, once I've got the duplicate stitch on the snout and the message, I wash it. So before I actually go and stuff it. So if I were to wash this, then stuff it, and then put the duplicate stitch on, the duplicate stitching wouldn't be washed. And I would rather wash, because I never know. Some of the yarns that I pick up, a friend of mine picks them up at, yard sales, or Goodwill or thrift shops, and some I know has been sitting in yarn shops for years, and so I I like to wash. I like to wash all of my items. So once you get the message on, I wash it and then I stuff it. And I also add on, you won't see this in Melody's pattern, but I always put this little tail on the bear. I just pick up about 3 stitches for an I-cord, and then I do a number of rounds, I flip it over and I tie it down so that this little bear has a little tail to it. I then also close up the top, the other ear, with duplicate stitch, or sorry, with Kitchener stitch once I have it all stuffed. And then I add my Care Bear knitwear tag on. And yeah, and then little bear is ready to be gifted. So I'm really happy with this. I have made a number of them, and will I make it again? Oh yeah, I know I will, because yeah, I just think they're super cute, and they're really squishy and huggy, and yeah, it's a nice gift to a friend, and I hope she feels better. And this is the little bear hug that I sent to her. So if you're interested in making stuffy, something simple, check out Melody Hoffmann's um, page on Ravelry. And if you need to add duplicate stitch messages or names or lettering on something that you're knitting or crocheting, check out the Alphabet Charts by Emily. Thanks for watching.